Village of Pulaski held at Pulaski Village Hall, 585 East Glenbrook Drive, Pulaski, Wisconsin. And could I have a roll call and pledge?
Bruce Britchkuski.
Present.
Roger Britchkuski.
Present.
Robert Gajewski.
Here.
Doug Prentice.
Present.
Chris Smith. Here. Robert Van Lannen.
Here.
And Reed Woodward.
Here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
By Doug,
I'll second.
by Chris, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And number 3, to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting of August 7, 2017, and dispense with the reading.
So moved.
By Bruce,
Second.
by Roger, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 4, to consider approval to hire one full-time flex officer, Josh Nicodem, I'm sorry. And he is in the audience. Karen?
First one, you need to approve the hiring.
Okay. Could I have a motion to approve the hire? This will be the flex officer position
So moved.
by Doug,
I'll second.
second by Bob Gajewski. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Wait,
Okay,
with that rate.
yeah, the pay rate's gonna be the same as we've offered everybody else. It's at the 18-month pay cycle starting. The rest of this, the benefits according to the union contract go as stated in the contract, just that there's a little bump up to start out, so. Okay.
Yeah, we, those of you that are on laboring, you know that we're trying to do a little bit of catch-up, but we can't just, we can't raise it that quickly.
Yeah.
Do not have a problem. So all in favor?
I'll still make the motion, yep.
Yeah. I'll second.
Thank you.
Thanks. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 5, oath of office, newly hired full-time flex officer.
Okay, I'd like to introduce Josh Nickon. Josh, will you come up and meet the trustees? Chris Smith.
Hi.
Hi, nice
Bob
to meet you.
Van Lannen,
Nice to
Roger
meet you.
Doe.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Roger Britchkuski.
Hi, Josh. Nice to
Karen Ostrowski.
Bob Gajewski.
Nice.
Welcome.
Hi.
Bruce Britchkuski. Welcome.
Hi.
Okay, go ahead, Karen.
Okay, Josh, if you could please raise your right hand. Josh Nicodem, you have been appointed to the office of full-time flex police officer. Do you swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of your said office to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations.
Welcome aboard.
Congratulations.
Item number 6, Field of Dreams, and I would like to open the floor for Teddy Black.
So move.
By Roger,
I'll second.
second by Bob Gajewski, all in favor?
Aye.
Welcome.
Thanks, guys, appreciate it, and gals. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you, and I'm representing the Field of Dreams Steering Committee, the now 9-member steering committee that is driving the Field of Dreams projects. And we wanted to reach out and go public to say thank you to all of you for your donation to be part of that legacy club at the wall that, if you have not been to the field yet, that is now starting to fill in. It's one of those things that if you build it, they will come. Well, we're building it and they are coming. And the unique thing is it's truly about the community. If you have an opportunity on Saturday morning, it's not about Friday night lights. If you have the opportunity on a Saturday morning to drive by in those fields and Saputo Field, just to see the number of young second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth graders now playing football on that field. And they're having a wow. moment because they're just being part of that varsity experience. So we want to say thank you. Appreciate everything that you've done. We're on our way. I also want to briefly update you. We're already on the way to second phase. Second phase is 2 baseball, 2 softball. And at this point in time, we've got $500,000 committed to that second phase. And our hope is to go ahead and have that go out to bid by the end of this year, break ground in the spring, and then Katie bar the door, here we go. And so we're excited about that. It's a great opportunity, I think, for our community. It's one of the things that, I take great pride in our community and what it does for the children, and that's important. And so bottom line is thank you, appreciate it.
Is phase 2 part of the middle school too, as those fields at all, or not yet?
We've taken phase 2 and we basically divided it into 2 phases.
Okay.
The first phase being phase 2A, which is 2 baseball, 2 softball, concession stand, restroom.
Okay.
Total cost about $2 million, Bruce. And then the second phase, or second part, which would be 2B, would be 3 tennis courts and then the redo of the behind the middle school, the soccer
Okay.
fields.
Good.
So that may be delayed a little bit.
Yep.
Coach Spaduto said he's making it, everything's good on the tennis courts. The feedback we got from the soccer group is, yeah, we'd like to have a little better fields, but hey, we're playing on it,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's the
okay,
real key.
good.
So, but it won't go away, let put it in to you that way, so,
You guys are doing a good job.
yeah, appreciate it. With your help, thanks. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'll make a motion to close the floor.
By Doug,
I'll second.
second by Chris, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Gordy.
You're welcome, Reed.
You can stay for the whole meeting if you wish. Number 7, discuss and consider to approve an application for a permit to keep fowl within the village of Pulaski. Now, fowl is synonymous with chickens in most cases. And this was a request for chickens. And the request came from Jen Jerica, okay. McKinney, 335 East Cedar Street, Pulaski, Wisconsin. And we adopted a resolution 1065-2011. It was adopted in June 6th, 2011, specifically passed to allow the keeping of fowl in the village with permit. So, does anybody have any questions?
These are the actual facilities
I
on
used to live in Peshtigo, and that's the coop that my dad built for
Bill,
me.
okay,
We're
okay,
still at my dad's house.
okay.
I see your neighbors signed off. Were there any concerns at all about having them?
They didn't have any concerns.
Okay.
So basically it's gonna go like on the side of the house? What are you thinking? Okay.
Does the board have any questions of Ms. McKinney?
If there isn't any questions, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
By Roger,
I'll second it.
by Gieske. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Permits will probably be finished by late afternoon tomorrow, I guess.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Number 8, persons desiring to be heard. Persons desiring to be heard. Third time, persons desiring to be heard. There being none. Number 9, committee reports. Park Use Ad Hoc Committee of August 15, 2017.
I've got a few things I'd like to bring to the committee of the whole for our next meeting. Diamond E is now referred to as Prevea Field, and they're hoping to have a ceremony next year. Prevea is helping quite a bit with a lot of the improvements and upkeep of the whole Memorial Park, so that's good to see. Mark Heck is doing some public relations to find a sponsor and possibly some builders for a band shell or something to that likings, and they would think Memorial Park might be a great place for something like that. A little bit of discussion about moving the bike track from Memorial Park to Community Park, where there's much more land, and they want to see that maybe be a little bit bigger and that sort of thing. So of course we'd like to discuss that. Let's see, what else? Pat McDermott brought to our attention that the bleachers at the Reds Diamond or Diamond A are starting to get beyond their life or use. A few busted boards have happened, so hopefully we can have those done before the next season coming up. There are a few buildings in Polka grounds that have leaky roofs, so we need to address that. Hopefully we can have a good discussion about all of that, but what needs your attention right now, consider to approve and reduce, consider to approve a reduced facility rental rate of 50% for any nonprofit organization not to be waived by the village board, and increase the rental fee of the West Side concession at Memorial Park from $50 to $100. At our committee of the whole, the recommendation was made that every resident fee, no matter nonprofit or regular resident, be the same rate. Of course, non-residents would pay the additional fee that we have set up, and of course moving that concession stand usage from $50 rental per day to $100 to match our other two large facilities. So
And while the weather's still nice, I encourage every board member to go out and just take a look at all the improvements that have been done between the baseball people and your efforts, and the playground equipment, the new shelter, the blacktop. They did stripe the blacktop today. It looks fantastic. This park is really close to being just a gem, an absolute gem.
So many families, they see that as the face of our community, because that's why they're spending many, many hours here in our community. Yeah. So,
Doug, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
The amphitheater, is that the same thing that what, Bob, that you brought to attention?
Yep. So now,
There's a multi-different terms to use for a band shelter.
right.
Well, whatever that's
Yeah.
gonna call it, but it was connected to what Bob had brought forward. Okay.
Yeah.
So does that mean somebody else was going to pay for it?
Yep, so Mark Heck from our PACE program is looking to reach out to the community, see if he
Try
can
and shake a few trees.
find some funding, he has a few connections with the builders that say we would love to add this to the community, but materials would be tough for us to come up with, so.
Okay.
You'd like to see marquee yachts get maybe a little more involved, and so we have some connections there, so.
Good question. So where it stands here is we're
Okay, that's
considered to
voted on later, Karen.
or
With the fees,
Yeah,
that comes out of committee of the whole.
okay, yeah.
okay, later, okay. Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, that's all I have.
Zoning, Planning and Zoning Commission met August 16, 2017, and referred the following matter to the Board of Zoning Appeals for a variance request as per discussion regarding Paul Pulaski Parkside Reserve. Paul has 7 remaining parcels that he would like to build on. Due to the ordinary high water marks and the R2 zoning setbacks, these lots are nearly unbuildable with the setbacks that are typically used for the larger lots in, in that area. These are smaller lots. And because of the set water mark requirements, unless we give them a variance on, letting them build a house a little closer to the road and a little closer, to a side yard, they're virtually unbuildable without that variance.
Where are these lots again, Reed?
I knew you'd ask that. Covered wagon trail, is that right?
Rosemary Court,
Rosemary Court.
Patrick Lane,
Oh, okay.
Parkside Reserve.
That's where I
west
was
side
thinking you were.
of town.
And, it's nothing wrong. These will probably be smaller houses, and they'll be all, in one area. And so I'm pretty sure the zoning board of appeals will approve the change in setbacks, but,
So they would just be a little bit closer to the
yeah.
road, basically?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the way I understood it. There's all kinds of maps, and, you gotta look at this one for water and this one
Right.
for that, and, it's a
Does he
little
put up
confusing.
spec houses, or are they?
He showed some plans to, they were part of the package. There were two different home designs, and
Parrot homes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I missed that, Karen, what?
Parrot homes.
Parrot homes.
and they look to be around, oh,
How many square
900
foot?
and 1,100 square feet. I didn't actually measure it all out, that's what they appear.
There's no restrictive covenants in that area regarding, there isn't, okay. And would it be to their advantage to, say, what is it, 7 lots available?
Yes,
Could those lots be downs or upgraded to being, say, 5 lots out of those 7? Is that
well,
feasible?
that can't change the watermark.
No, okay. But they still would be, yeah,
Well,
still need a
the
variance.
thing we want to make sure is that that doesn't revert back to farmland, like happened to the last subdivision that didn't get built.
Okay.
So then there's absolutely no tax value out there.
Roger, are you saying that they'd be rezoned so they could go wider, or I mean?
Yeah, something
wider
to that effect,
versus-
or if
Bigger
you
home.
want a bigger
Yeah,
home.
so it's bigger, yeah.
Yeah.
Because does that fit in that vicinity?
Well,
I mean, I think they're,
combining them can't make them deeper.
That's
Right.
true.
Yeah.
right,
That's the point that I,
but they fit that area then, that size of home?
Everybody's got their own opinion. And,
Yeah, is there restrictions for what you can build out there?
Yeah, they
I
said there's
think
no
that there's an awful lot
ordinances.
of duplexes near there, but not any, am I right?
I think there's homes out there
Duplexes
too.
are congregated.
In that area, there is residential.
Yeah.
There is one on Rosemary Court that is being built right now, and that looks a lot like one of the homes he had on his specs.
Okay,
It's currently in the construction phase.
okay.
So this really just moves it closer to the road, closer to the lot line, side lot
Basically, I
lines.
think the setback was
Patrick Lane.
30 feet,
I
and
don't-
they're asking for 20,
25.
25?
So does that affect sidewalk or anything that would come down the road?
No, and I think,
Okay.
some of them was more the width, the side setbacks,
Yeah,
so they are able to,
so it affects the width as well?
correct, in the number 2, need a variance for the width at the building.
Oh, at the, okay.
So allowing it for them to put up a little bigger home. I want to say they're in the 1,200 square foot range.
Okay. 1 story, I'm assuming?
They had models of a ranch style and also a 2-story.
Oh, okay.
And this is just a referral to the Board of Zoning Appeals, because
They'll have, ultimately, they have to approve the variance, and then have to kick it back to us.
there'll be a public hearing then at Board of Zoning Appeals, and that looks like that will be like the end of October, beginning part of November, until that commission gets ready, is published in the paper and so forth.
So you probably want to do something in spring if you would start
Yeah, he wants to be ready for
ready
spring.
for spring, okay.
Those lots have been on the market for a long time.
Yes.
Well, you can wish to send it back to Board of Zoning Appeals, because if they don't approve it, then we can't do nothing about
That's
it.
right.
I'll
But,
second that.
You want as much public hearing of this as so that
Right.
people are wanting to speak on it, they have the opportunity. So you make the, Bob, you making the motion?
Yeah.
to
Send it to the
zoning
Board of Appeals.
Okay. Have a second?
I second it.
Bruce? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. B, consider approve and adopt resolution 1181-17, a resolution recommending adoption of the 2017 Village of Pulaski Comprehensive Plan update to the Village Board of Trustees. And you've all been given copies of the updated comprehensive plan. I hope you've had a good chance to look at. Aaron Schutte did an outstanding job in updating it and trying to plan for future planning. And we will be later adopting the resolution.
That'll be right now.
Right now? Could I have a motion to approve the resolution adopting the new comprehensive plan?
I'll make that motion.
By Bob Pulaski.
I'll second that.
By Roger. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 4, Economic Development Ad Hoc Committee of August 21st, 2017. And before I turn the floor over to Chris, we've had a little meeting, and because of the heightened activity for business-wise, we're going to go back to monthly meetings.
Good.
On our meeting of August 21st, we were, Kristen Fish and Mary Rejek weren't able to attend, so it was kind of a shortened meeting. But we did talk about a few things that we as residents and community members could talk about. And one was that Jim Resick was going to be attending a small community forum meeting, which he felt would be real helpful for us to know about. So that was on August 24th. We'll have an update at the next meeting. And then there was a call to action for a historical tax credit, and everyone was encouraged to go and vote for that. And then there was some discussion about blighted properties. And so that will be a continued discussion. And then there's a new business downtown. It's called Bethesda Thrift Store, and that should be opening this month if it's not open already.
It's going to open tomorrow, from what I understood.
Oh, okay, good.
Economic
Good.
Development Meeting.
So that's good. And then, as Reed said, we are looking at September 25th for our next meeting, but I have to send out an email and get that all squared away with. It's good with Kristen, but I don't know about the rest of the members, so I have to get that out tomorrow. But beyond that, we also have an October 16th meeting at noon at Premier. So I'll try to set it up for the same in September. So that's what I have.
And something that the board really hasn't been involved in, but about a year ago, we started condemnation procedures on the old Amigos building. It went through a sheriff's sale. The person that bought it at the sheriff's sale rejected it because they noticed the roof was caving in. So then we began condemnation, and there was a bank that owned the property, and they're from out of state, so it was very, very difficult to deal with. And finally, just as we're ready to just go in and bulldoze it, somebody came forward and bought the building, and it was a contractor and put a new roof on.
I seen that.
And so instead of an empty lot, we have a building that can be rented.
He's
With a new roof.
no plans of anything being in there at this point, he just
Right.
fixed it up so it could
He
be.
just, well, he, he had just got to pay himself, so I imagine he
Okay.
did it economically. They did it in, what, 2 days, I think?
Yeah,
It was all
that didn't
took.
take long.
They took the roof off one day, started putting the framing in, put a cover on, the next day finished it, so I was quite impressed.
And hopefully we can
Good
keep
for
that,
him, that'll be good.
keep that conversation of blighted buildings, I know it's mentioned a few times in the
Yeah, if you do
comprehensive plan,
push,
so.
They eventually either clean up their act
Yeah.
or, we'll clean it up for them.
Right.
So,
You know if it's still kind of focused for food service, or is there any
it's
discussion of
pretty-
what kind of
It's
rental?
pretty wide open. I have heard
Okay.
that there was somebody interested in opening a pizza joint there.
Oh, okay.
But, that's kind of coffee. It's
Yeah.
not really a hard and fast thing there.
Mhm.
But, it was quite successful when it was
Yeah.
doing
Mhm.
pizzas and big sandwiches.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Well, it's a step in the right
Chris, in
direction.
regards to meetings, wasn't there some talk about having them like in the morning, 7:30, 8 o'clock?
We haven't gotten that far yet.
You haven't gotten that far?
Yeah. So since Kristen comes from Madison, it's much easier for her to get here at noon.
Okay.
Although I think for others, it's probably easier to get there in the morning, but that's what we have to work with right now.
Yeah. Well, just thinking about attendance would be easier for, maybe our attendance would be up at those meetings.
Yeah, I would,
Yeah,
it's hard to break into your workday,
yes,
so. But it will be a discussion.
okay.
Thank you, Chris. Committee of the Whole of August 21st, 2017. A was to consider to purchase 5 picnic tables from Uline at $5.90 each plus shipping for the new Memorial Park East Shelter House, and that was approved at the Committee of the Whole, and we've already got the tables and they're inside the new shelter.
Yep.
And they are really, really nice.
So I'll make a motion, we buy those picnic tables.
I was hoping that someone like you would be willing to go ahead and buy them. Well, by Doug,
I'll second that.
by Roger. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Just
carried.
before we're off the subject, what happens to the old ones then?
A lot of them.
They don't burn.
No, we'll probably just take the limber off, and what we'd like to do is either, throughout the winter, either try that Trek decking material, like a plastic, versus the wood. Put a cost and see how much it would be to build something that'll last a lot longer than the wood, because then you gotta treat them, paint them, more maintenance. We'd like to try, putting something on there that's less maintenance. So they're not gonna get junked, the wood will get taken off and
Okay. I was just thinking that maybe, sometimes the high school or whatever does jobs, that does things for
Projects,
us. That they could maybe, just because it looked like it was not that big of a deal to, even if you wanted to just put the lumber, you could do it easy, it looked like to me when I saw them.
usually what we do in the wintertime, we pull all that kind of stuff in, and if they need rewelding, repainting, we'll go through it at that, at that time.
There's
Okay.
quite a bit of rush on what I saw. Okay, we have, all, did we vote?
Motion by Doug, seconded by Roger. No motion carried.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We bought them babies. B, consider approve that all nonprofits pay the same as residents and the additional fee for non-residents. No waiving of fees effective 1/1 of 2018.
Okay.
That was one of the 3 different circles we went through. And Chris, I think you were the one that made the effective date the first of the year, so it doesn't affect anything that was already planned for this year.
And
I got
also,
a question for Doug. Here you got, you don't have added that,
yeah, I was just gonna mention that. It's kind of a 2-part, so I think maybe just a typing
also state that.
Where you don't have the half price for nonprofit. Isn't that in your, somewhere in yours?
That was the original.
See, what happened is, I was taking into consideration what was done at the Parks Committee, and then this got changed, so we can include that.
Okay.
I'm gonna state
Because
that.
the Parks Committee recommendation was from them,
Yep.
but then this board saw fit to
We changed that, yeah.
to change it.
You're probably thinking about this right here. Consider to approve reducing facility rentals not to move it. Is that what you're stating about? Or-
Yeah, they were, Doug had it in here somewhere.
Yeah, on the first page, under the Parks Use Ad Hoc Committee meeting, that's really how the committee of the whole is recommending it to the board. Under A,
Not to be
consider to
waived.
approve a reduced facility rental fee, wait,
I thought that's what the park
not to be
committee.
waived
Yeah,
by the village.
Yeah, that's what the
Increase.
Parks Committee recommended, but then
Okay.
we, yeah.
and in the committee of the whole is where we did our discussions and we went
Right.
around and around and we came up with this final recommendation.
On yours, Doug, I see where Ron Matushak made a motion at 50% for nonprofit.
Correct.
That didn't go through? That went,
So at our committee of the whole, it was
That's what we-
voted that we recommend to the board full price for nonprofits. The only different price would be non-resident.
That would be what, 150?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it 150 for
I
that?
think it is. Joe, do you know that?
125?
125?
125, I don't recall. I think, back to the Parks meeting, what the discussion was that they wanted to bump it up to $100 so that the fee for nonprofits would stay at 50. They didn't want it to stay at $50 and get bumped down to $25. So that's why they bumped it up to the $100.
Yeah. So the recommendation to the board would have, or the committee of the whole would have been, keep our fee at $50 for the rental of the concession being a nonprofit.
But that was a recommendation.
Right,
We-
right.
We decided not to.
And well, this is a recommendation also coming from the committee of the whole. So it is still very much pliable if anybody wants to make a motion. That was, the recommendation from the parks was $50 for nonprofits,
nonprofit.
$100 for residents, $125 for non-residents. And they'd like to see a $100 fee. Well, I kind of already said that, but the fee that is now $50 for concessions, they'd like to see that be $100 for residents to rent it. The recommendation that the committee of the whole makes to this board is we'd like to see those fees be $100 for residents, $100 for nonprofit residents, and $125 for non-residents. So no break or no abstract, come to the board and ask for a discount or for free. That takes that concern of why is this favorite being played for, you know,
It's just
this
easier for
organization.
Karen and everybody that's trying to figure
I'll
out.
make that motion for whatever Doug said.
Rental for residents and nonprofits is $100 across the board.
I'll second it.
Do we do it as a set, well, okay, so that addresses the $50 and that also addresses the nonprofit. Yeah,
Well, under B, it says consider to approve that all nonprofits pay the same as residents and the additional fee for non-residents. No waiving fees, effective 1/1/2018.
Pretty simple, straightforward.
So it's $100 residents, $100 nonprofits, and $125 non-residents.
Yep.
Van Lannen made the motion, and who made the
I
second?
second.
And that's effective 1/1/2018.
That's what Chris's motion was, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Any discussion?
Any other discussion?
Just going against the recommendation of the parks, we're gonna hear some feedback, and like Joel mentioned, you know, they were saying, we don't need any break, we feel that $50 is a fair price to pay for the concessions. So we probably will hear back from, you know, why didn't our recommendation get accepted? You know, but there was a lot of discussion at the committee of the whole, so. Just,
But then it comes to Tiffany in front of who's nonprofit, who isn't, and this way she's got a fee that she can charge.
right.
And plus, look at what we have to maintain now.
Right.
You know, just, we've got to go along with the times.
It's not gonna get easier.
Yeah, it's not getting any easier, right?
I think you had a fantastic point, Bob.
You know, the one thing that I think about is we got our taxpayers, the residents, we're charging $100 for, but for a group, and not, the nonprofits are all fine groups. I mean, that's not a big thing, but it makes sense to me, I guess, to have the people who have to pay for it to have the same price as the people who don't pay for it. And that's what it comes down to for me, I guess. And it's not that I want to be unfair to anybody or anything, but to say that the people who pay for the whole building in the first place have to pay $100 and then somebody else doesn't have to pay anything, it kind of doesn't make sense to me, I guess. That's the way I look at it.
I don't think $100 is a high price. I'm sure other communities are more than that, but like I said, we got new facilities and they're gonna have to be maintained
Well,
someplace along the line.
we just paid $330,000, right, for those two buildings, and
With the
what do we get out of this kind of stuff from people? Will we get a couple $1,000 a year? At $100 a crack?
Well, probably,
Yeah, if you rent them 26 weeks out of the year at the most, the other half is winter,
yeah.
so you get $2,600 from each one, so it's $5,200 you get back.
Well, there's three of them, you know, three buildings, I guess, but
the only two.
they're not gonna get rented that much, but that means that we have a payback on these buildings of 100 years.
Yes.
Well, you pay
And that doesn't
$5,200.
even count, you know, upkeep or anything else, and
That-
something
that
tells me
don't
they're not
count
gonna last that long.
That only comes Joey
So it's a
cleaning
good
them up.
deal. So what I'm saying
It's
is
not
it's
a
a good deal.
money-making situation.
We're gonna say it's not, you're not gonna make money on
And
it.
I would like to point out that Brown County, when my daughter graduated in 1978,
1996.
yeah, she was born in 78.
How many daughters you
I'm
have?
getting my- I rented a small pavilion at the zoo, and it was $150 back then,
Yeah.
so.
Then when I had settled.
Yeah.
Oh.
This has been one of the most lengthy discussions we've had since we let him build the KC building.
With bathrooms.
Okay, so the motion on the floor is to approve that all nonprofits pay the same as residents and the additional fee for non-residents. No waiving of fees effective January 1st, 2018, and then it includes $100 charge residents, $100 charge nonprofits, and $125 charge non-residents. Is that correct? What else
Yes.
needs to be added?
Specifically, those
Did
three
you specifically raised the concession stand to 100?
memorial, Veterans Memorial Concession, or they call it West Concession Stand.
Now, do you add, what do you call that?
Deposit.
Fee in there extra, or?
Yeah, we do that with
The
as
contract.
part of the
Yeah.
contract.
Oh,
And I don't think we've ever not returned the deposit.
That's good.
Our people have been very good at cleaning up. after themselves. All right, Joel?
You are.
So what was the wording with the West concession, so I have that correct?
It's all
Does that need to
$100.
be, or
It's all 100.
All
with the
100.
nonprofit, it's all 100?
It's all 100.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Yeah, motion made by Bob Van Lannen, seconded by Bruce Richkuski.
Are we done discussing?
I think
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Abstain. You having a parks meeting soon?
Will they stop hating me by March?
Next
back
is
you up.
the NEW Paramedic Rescue meeting of August 28th, 2017. Bob?
Yeah, we had a short meeting because Gold Cross had
Thank you,
another
Gordy.
commitment.
Thanks, Gordy.
And most of ours was budget, and then what they got, 3 things they had to bring back to the board. We discussed the budget, and there was 3 things they said we should decide on. A lot of ambulance services are going to charging a non-residency for anybody they pick up that isn't in their service area. Because insurance only pays so much and this and that, so, and they don't know, they're gonna check how many residents, or how many people are actually picked up that aren't in the service area. A lot of ambulance services are going to a non-residency fee. And they don't know how much they're gonna check, how many. The second thing is I agreed with, they said we should be charging these nursing homes and assisted living a fee to go there to help them because they're supposed to be staffed. To help them lift somebody in the bed or out of bed or in a shower or out of the shower. If it's an emergency, somebody hurt or something, medical is all right.
It shouldn't be a rescue squad call.
Huh?
It shouldn't be a rescue squad.
Well, they said it should be a police or fire call.
No. My guys get hurt doing a lift, and then who's gonna pay the disability insurance? You know, it's not a law enforcement, it's not a fire call.
No.
I mean, this is, if you're somebody that's down and they need to have extra people to put them on the gurney to transport them, I'll agree with you, then we'll all go there. Everybody puts a hand in and nobody hurts themselves.
But this is something where they've been calling them, I guess, pretty regular to come and assist them, and they're supposed to be staff for that. Well, they said you can't charge the person because 90% of it, well, then charge the facilities to whoever owns that.
So they haven't been charging anybody or as
No,
of
no,
now?
they
Because it was a
just go there
no transport, huh?
No transport, and they can't bill them. I mean, they can bill them, but Medicare don't pay nothing if they aren't transported. So they go there, well, they aren't sick. They go there, put them in bed or put them in the shower or take them out or whatever it is. But they just need help to lift and they don't have the staff there to do it. Well, the other guy says put it on the police department because they don't, the other communities that we serve don't pay taxes for the police department and their department. But that, and the third thing, it's a good thing, these life alarm systems, but they said you gotta start doing something, because they didn't tell us where, but they had, you know, they're good, somebody buzzed, so they sent them wherever it was, a fire department, because they said they need help getting up the stairs. Well, when they got there, she needed help carrying her groceries up the steps.
Oh, gee.
They said they had it recorded. They got there, no, she said, I need help carrying the groceries.
Oh, you can call for that? I didn't know that.
Well, they ring that alarm system.
Yeah.
That,
Oh, gee.
so they said we should start considering something in our, I mean, it's somewhere a line we should be, do we want to charge or do we want to let it as free services we're doing? It is, it's not a free service, somebody pays.
Yeah.
We
Well-
have that instance
Could we have
with,
Public Works do that?
There should be a no transport
Huh?
fee. Do you have a large no transport fee? What's your no transport fee?
We don't have
Well,
no
that's-
transfer.
that's something
Right,
that
they have to
the
come up with a
rescue
fee for
squad
that.
should-
If they go to a call and they don't do anything with the patient, you know, just go there, check them out and everything, and no transport, there's no transport fee.
Well,
If they take blood pressure and this and that, then they got an assessment fee of $100.
then you better be taking your blood pressure every single time.
I hear you. That's exactly right, Mike.
I didn't hear you.
What-
Take a blood pressure every single time. First of all, you have a liability factor that's involved in this whole situation unless you go to a scene and somebody says they don't want you, and then what happens if they tip over, 5 seconds later? Unless you signed a waiver, if you
Well, they
signed
said
a
that
waiver.
a life alarm, they got a little leadway. You ring it, what do you want? You should go in. That, they fight you.
Well, then tell me that you're not sick and you're okay, and I'd like to just get your blood pressure. I mean, it's an assessment.
And if they refuse, well, they have to sign a form that to refuse, but still,
Here's
they
what
will
your
offer
fees are.
that, and they're gonna be charged regardless.
What do they do like in Menasha or down where the Old Cross is?
They're starting to charge.
They're starting to charge.
They're starting to charge. They said, because they're in a bigger city, they get a lot more.
Well, I'm sure.
No,
Green Bay has had a no non-resident fee for years, city of Green Bay.
I'm sure
That's
counties,
right.
well, counties everywhere, but
No, I don't, Doug, you probably know, but they say now, a lot of these insurances, if you don't buy an ambulance rider, your insurance don't cover your ambulance calls for people, so the people aren't buying that, so now we aren't getting paid from the insurance for anything.
I haven't seen, well, I only sell for 2 different companies, but I haven't seen where it's an additional rider. It either has it or it doesn't.
Well, he said they're starting to get them now, where
Yeah.
they don't buy the ambulance insurance. So then if they get taken in, then nobody's paying, so. And it's free, somebody's paying.
Yeah.
somebody's paying for it, yeah.
So I guess, what does the board want? Because we're gonna discuss it at our next meeting, how
Well, I would hope that your board, the ambulance board, comes up with some recommendations.
There definitely has to be
It appears
some.
Right.
that almost everybody's already charging a no transport fee in some way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
And we probably need to have a recommendation from your board to do that.
well, they're gonna check and see how many are really trying out, how much it would make. But they said even if it's $2,000-3,000, because the profit we had, we lost with Badger, so. It's,
Does that affect the care of people then? I mean,
no,
does it go by the wayside then, and someone's got to figure out how to, whatever they're having a problem
Well, it's
with?
unfortunate if the place is understaffed and if they have bigger residents and somebody falls and they can't help them up, well then
Yeah.
definitely it's an issue,
Yeah,
but I don't think it's the
You're not
rescue
gonna leave them
squad's
lay there
issue.
because they're.
no.
Right.
That
But
that would
that
be my
is-
concern, because who pays for it, and if you don't have
We do.
the.
Under tax.
Well, my point is, if that person doesn't have the money, so,
They don't pay, they don't pay. We pay it. We end up paying for it. Taxpayers pay for it. But the thing is, if, when they're calling and a person is, say, healthy, but just can't get in or out of bed, that's the ones that they go for. So. So then you recommend that we would
Come up
consider
with some
that.
type of fee,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that's all I have for it.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Next is Room Tax Commission, of August 31st, 2017. Bruce?
All right, yeah, we had a meeting on the 31st and came up with a few ideas we're going to pursue. One was we're going to do a full-page ad in the Green Bay Convention Bureau catalog. Right now, with the money we spend, we get a half a page, so we'll actually have a page and a half. So we're going to come up with me and Mary and part of Dynamic Designs, will come up with a layout, some pictures, some events that are going on to try to fill up that page. It's about $3,900 to do that, but we felt it's going to go into like 235,000 publications is what they actually print. So it's going to get out there. We'll get polka days in there. We'll get cashmere. Some things we got to change, like there's no ATV trail. They had German heritage and we're Polish heritage, so we'll change a couple things in there. But we're going to get that going. We have to have it in there by the end of the month because they bumped up the deadline on that to get it in. We're also going to pursue a website to get that started for Pulaski Tourism. So we get that going. Any word on the car show? I know it's in the meeting down the road, but
We put it on the agenda, but.
didn't hear anything. Okay. So we have that. We didn't get a hold of Mike from Polka Days to have a meeting with the letter to present the money that we had for advertising. So that money for 2017 did not get dispersed, and we'll see what happens for 2018. So that's what we're pursuing now, to get that catalog page and a half going, and then if we get that up and going, we'll be in good shape for a while.
Bruce, how is this advertising that's going to be done? You said catalog. Where is it dispersed? Where is it made available?
Virtually nationwide.
nationwide?
All over, yeah, they go to different conventions, they have, working relationships with Door County, Oconto, and all over the place, that they put our catalogs and we put their catalogs in.
Oh.
They'll be on their website, we'll have a link that'll be on their Convention Bureau website, they'll link up to our website. So there's multiple ways that'll be,
And that's the best exposure we could possibly get, I take it?
yeah, yep,
I mean, for $4,000, you're getting into literally 220,000
yep.
handouts featuring the
Correct.
Green Bay and the area.
And they have a person that's designated to go around different areas around here and make sure the catalogs are
Algoma, for
there.
instance, has been a member with that for about 10 years now.
Yeah, it's about 10 years, yeah,
And they got 4 pages
Oh, wow.
yeah.
between the winery and the other things that they got going on in the community. They fill up like 4 pages.
Yep. So the more things we have going on to get beds and heads and people in the community, we'll keep adding it on. And obviously the church is going to be part of the spiritual tour that they have. So they got connected with that. So I'll make sure that's going to go and sound like it's going to. So that'll bring people into town too.
Yeah, and they say they do it about 4 times a year.
Yeah, yep.
So they come up with 1 or 2 busloads. And
Yep.
you probably have a meal and
So we've never, ever done anything like this, actually,
No,
right?
no.
Good, good.
thank you, Bruce.
Yep.
Next, to consider to approve the application for annual mobile home park operator's license for the period November 1, 2017 to 10/31 of 2018. This is an annual occurrence.
That has to be approved by fire, police, fire, and everybody?
Yeah,
I'll make that motion to approve as long as it's
pending the approvals.
with all the people approving.
First by Bob.
I'll second.
Second by Roger. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Consider to approve and adopt the zoning ordinance 555-17 and ordinance rezoning VP 1258-1 from R3 residential to B4 neighborhood business, Crumrite Survivors Trust owner. And all of the statutory requirements have been made on all of the mandatory notices in the paper are all done. And this is the final action. They need to just approve the zoning ordinance.
I'll make a motion to approve and adopt.
Thank you, Doug.
I'll second.
Bob Gieske, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 12, payment request draw number 7, Mountain Day Incorporated Development in the amount of $109,868.45. And it's for the multi-family development, $48,634.51. And phase 1 residential development, that's basically the road, sewer, and water, is $61,233.94. And we did the borrowing for this when we did that borrowing with Baird.
I'll make that motion.
By Bruce,
I'll second.
second by Bob Gieske, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, this is, we're begging. Number 13, and it's appropriately numbered, number 13. Consider to purchase a new lawnmower as per Joel Van Lannen, and I can attest to the fact that, was it Friday? 2 weeks ago Friday, yeah, time flies. They had 2 major failures in one day of lawnmowers. And one of them is so bad that it really doesn't pay to repair. And Joel, with that Turn the floor over
yes.
to you, and a 15-year-old lawnmower really isn't worth it.
Yeah, it's a 1998, it's owned by the Sewer and Water, so I did speak with TR about this. And by working together, I mean, to label it sewer, water, parks, we feel the best way to go about it is split the cost between sewer and water and parks for the purchase of a new one. I did receive a price from Wires, which is where we bought in X-Mark mowers from. The one that we would be replacing is a 1998 X-Mark. So longevity-wise, they're a good mower. Service, they're great. Parts, we get. So I'd really like to stick with them. The price of this mower is $14,836. It is $113 less than the one we bought in September of 2015. So it's a 2017 model. They are willing to take that mower in on trade. They're not giving us a lot. However, I would feel a lot better trading it in than putting it out on our lot for sale and then have a resident come back and say, what did you sell me?
What's the next newest one we got, 2015?
We have a 2015 that has 583 hours. We have a 2010 with almost 1,777 hours. The 98 has 2,536 hours. They tell us that 2,500 hours is about the max. You're gonna be starting to look at a new engine, which is $1,500 to $2,000. We put roughly 300 hours a year on each of our mowers. So, with that being all said, with the trade-in, we're looking at a total price of $14,336.
And the Jenny, the auditor allowed us to do, what, 70% sewer and water?
That's kind of what it sounded like.
Yes, it is what it sounded like.
75?
No. We were lucky to get her up to 70.
Will that be come out of this year now or next year's?
This year,
This year.
This year.
He's got one left. And like I said, it's a 2017 model. That's why the price is lower than, like I said, than the one we bought in 2015. They're trying to get rid of their 17s to get the 18s in for spring.
The 2015 and the 2017 basically the same?
They're basically the same. All of our parts from the 15 can go on the 17 and
Yeah.
vice versa. So we don't need multiple parts.
Are you happy with the 2015 so far?
Yes, absolutely. The 2010 is a Toro. The other two are X-Mark.
Okay.
2010 getting
The
close?
2010, we had to put a new engine in at 23 hours. That was under warranty. The 2010 is still in our shop.